Alright, guys. I am back as I said I would be, and I want to straight up apologize for what happened last night, where everything ended so abruptly. Um, I am still not sure what the hell happened. Like, I'm going down my game list like you guys had asked, and suddenly everything just went. Like, I even heard a little sound as my monitors just went. It just went out, blinked out. And at first I thought maybe my monitors got fried. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I still see the power lights on them. So I'm like, what? Then I look at my computer, and my computer is still running. Lights are on, everything. It's just that I guess the video card just said, screw it, and just jumped ship, just dived off the cliff. So, um, yeah, I don't know what the hell that was about. I'm not too sure, what happened. I turned off my computer, restarted it, and everything came right back up like nothing happened. I checked to see if maybe my video card had overheated. No. So, mm, wrong pipe. Don't drink and breathe at the same time. Anyway, as I promised last night, I was gonna come back on tonight to kind of like do the live stream proper. Though reflecting on it last night, even though it was supposed to be a preliminary one, um, yeah, I know it's almost 10 o'clock, being too late, but I had stuff to take care of today as well, and now here I am. But the reason why I'm on again is because I had promised I would be on tonight, and things got busy once again. But I did promise that I was going to be on tonight. I didn't want to leave you guys in a lurch, so I'm going to be on for a couple of hours. And this time I have to stick to the couple of hours. I know how I am. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be over here, and then 2 days later I'm still on. I can't do that this time. Um, but I did promise, and I don't want to keep on breaking promises. So, and normally I don't break promises anyway. I hate if I make a commitment, then damn it, I make a commitment. Now, I had doled out what I call little gifts for you guys, and in in basically the form of advice on some cheap things that you can get your hands on. But something that I wanted to do today, and I just, again, the lighting's not perfect in here, so it's going to be hard for me to physically show it. And I am going to do a full video on this so you get a better chance. But let me give you guys a late Christmas slash Hanukkah slash Kwanzaa slash winter solstice, whatever holiday, a late present. And it's in the form of advice on using these things, these cool weapons here that we like messing about. I've been meaning on doing this one for a while, but I might I was reminded of it when the sword class training that I've been doing kind of brought it up, and I'm like, damn it, I was supposed to bring this up. So anybody in that class who happens to be watching this, don't think I'm lifting it off of the instructor. Not, this is something that's been on my mind for a while, and I'm actually going to go into it a little bit differently than he did. But the main thing is, for any of you guys who are practicing any sort of swordsmanship or sword art of any type, um, the main thing that you need to do, the main thing you should focus on, is keep your sword in front of you. Okay. Definitely try to keep your sword in front of you as you practice and as you do your movements. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's obvious. Of course you want to keep the sword in front of you because your opponent's in front of you and they're going to be swinging things at you, right? And if they're swinging things at you, well, your sword will help to deflect or parry or straight up block if you have to, then move out the way. So, of course, keep the sword in front of you. That's obvious advice, right? Not as obvious as you think. I mean, it's obvious in the terms of that, but that's not the only reason why you should keep your blade in front of you. And that's not the only context that I'm talking about in terms of keep your sword in front of you. So, I'm going to stretch my screen out a little bit more. I'm planning on playing some games later. That's why this is a little bit short. But let me fill this up so you can actually see a little bit more. And I don't really have enough room here, but I'm going to try my best to demonstrate something. And we'll use this here. Oh, and Scott, no, I did not cut myself. I'm not, I'm not too sure if I said something that implied that, or do you see a red line on me or something? I didn't cut myself. I don't think. I'm not bleeding. Anyway, so let's take this weapon for example, and I'm sitting like this, and I got my weapon in front of me, and I'm making my strikes, I'm defending myself, and all that type of stuff, doing out my movements. And let's say, like, I'm dealing with my opponent, and he does something that I'm like, oh, I got a chance for a big strike. So then I wind up, and I swing, and I screwed up right there. Now, maybe some of you might be thinking, how did I screw up? Like, I'm deflected, and he's wide open, and I'm going to go for a big cut. And see right here? You see this? My sword's not in front of me anymore. I mean, yeah, he might be wide open. Maybe he's not in any really good advantage. He can't take advantage of the fact that all this is exposed. But the blade is no longer in front of me. Now, you might be thinking, but this is a strike, right? Sometimes you have to go for an overhead strike. So how can we quantify going for these big overhead strikes or these wind-up strikes and still keep the sword in front of you? That's impossible, isn't it? Not necessarily. Let's say I did want to go for kind of an overhead strike, right? Like Chinese dao, for instance, and this is a dao, even though it's straight bladed and all that, it's single edge. If I'm going to do the wind up, right? Okay, the blade's in front of me, but I'm keeping the wrap close to my body, and my body helps to I'm moving my mic, sorry. Again, I don't have enough room. Delivering the blow, and then it's kind of like this motion. Tien, by the way, like doing that more than this. For obvious reasons, you don't want to do a sword wrap with a Tien. But with that, then that sort of strike will be like this. And the blade is still in front of me. My weapon is still in front of me. Now, if I'm doing this, yeah, you can do that, but now you're shielding and protecting yourself with this hand, and your body helps to bring it right back. And this, interestingly enough, when you're doing that wrap, you're still trying to keep this as close to the motion of the front of your body and the center of your body as much as possible, so they can deliver the blow more efficiently than just all arm going like that. See what I mean? Another example I can give, which I think helps to demonstrate what I'm talking about a lot more efficiently, a lot better, is let's say, and this is another move I see in Chinese weapon arts a lot, both with Dao and Tien. Like, let's say you make a deflect, right? And now you're making a counter cut like that. Tien movements love doing this, where it's like, I see this stance a lot where you got the sword up here and your hands out like that, and you're standing on one leg, and it looks really beautiful, and might get you killed if you're fighting somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. Spiritual entrepreneurs, thank you very much for the compliment, and thanks for the 5. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm glad you like what I'm doing, though I have to stress right now, you're still hearing from somebody who considers himself a humble practitioner. There are people who are way better than me at this, but I'm glad you like the little bits that I'm able to throw out. So, anyway, I'll see a lot of forums where they'll do something like this, or they'll make a cut, and then they'll do a rising move, and then the sword's way over here, and they're like that. And if you're up against somebody who knows what the hell they're doing, you've probably just gotten yourself hit, if not killed. If you're in a real sword fight, which I know real sword fights don't really happen anymore, but bear with me. The problem with doing this, and again, I see this in forums a lot, is that, let's say you're engaging the opponent. Let's just pretend there's somebody in front of me who you can't see. But let's just say there's someone in front of me, and I've just engaged their weapon, right? I'm deflecting. And now I'm rolling off their blade to either make a counter cut, or let's say they've moved their blade and they're coming up for another cut. Now I'm deflecting it that way, right? Either this is going to help to deflect the weapon, or this is going to countercut them. And if I'm making a countercut, then I want to hit them, but I want to be able to keep on hitting, right? But if I'm bringing this all the way over here, now the blade's not in front of me. I'm bringing the blade way up. If this was a deflect, their sword was here. Now imagine I go here and now I'm like this. Am I touching their sword now? Is my blood touching theirs? No. I just moved my weapon off of theirs. So now, there's nothing... I've just lost my advantage. The blade is no longer touching this, so I can't feel where they're going. And now they can just... Or, let's say that I make my counter cut, and they're smart enough to move their arm or their body out of the way. Now, obviously, I want to keep chasing them, but if I'm here, now I got to go back here. Oops, sorry, I hit the wall. She's going to kill me. If I go like this and I go like that, and now I got to go back this way, that's too much energy. But you might be thinking then that means that you should never do this move, right? Because now the sword's not in front of you. Hold the phone. If I go like this, sword's not in front of me. If I go like this, see the difference? I'll do it again. If I go like this, sword's not in front of me, and the sword's way too high. If I go like this, sword's still in front of me. Now you might be going, no it's not. It's above your head. When I'm saying front, I'm not just simply talking about your face. I'm talking about your body. Okay? When I'm in this position, my chest and my blade are basically facing in the same direction. When I'm doing motions, I want to, as much as possible, some things you're not going to always be able to do. Remember, rules are not necessarily hard and fast rules. They're ways to guide you to doing the right things. But in general, you want to try to keep the blade, and in particular, this part, controlled by your body as much as possible. Wherever this goes, you want your chest to go too. Okay? So if I'm suddenly swinging this way, you kind of want to go in that direction. If you're swinging this way, you want your chest to go in that direction. Because that's where your power is coming from. If you suddenly go like this, but your body's not moving it, that means it's now all arm. And if it's mostly all arm, you're not going to be as effective, your cuts are not going to be as strong, your thrusts are not going to be as powerful, and you're also not going to be quick enough. Because there's a difference between thrusting and pulling back with your arm, and thrusting and pulling back with your body. It's a lot more efficient, and it's a lot quicker. You got many more muscles here than you have here. So if I'm going to then do this, one, turn with it. So now it's still in front of you. And I'm still pointing my blade straight toward my opponent, so now I can continue without as much effort. And my body, again, helps to deliver it. So this is something that's not just in Chinese martial arts. This is something that I've seen in HEMA, I've seen it with Kenjutsu, I've seen it Kendo, I've seen it in any forms that take their blade art seriously. Do your best to keep the blade in front of you, not just to defend yourself, like, I'm not going to be here, but try it so that your chest, the front part of your body, because remember, when I'm here and your head might be turning in that direction, but your chest should be in line. Your chest and spine should be in line with whatever your sword is doing. Whatever your sword is doing, make sure that this, your body, your torso, your spine, all that is in line. And it works a lot more efficiently if it's staying in front of you. So that's one little tip, little present, I guess, that I can give. You know, it's not like I have a whole lot of money that I can like buy a whole bunch of presents for everybody. But I'm hoping that that makes sense. I'm hoping that I explained it in a way that made sense. I'm pretty sure that people who have had a lot more years of this or a lot more experience in this than I have could explain this a lot more efficiently than I just did. But I'm hoping you got what I mean by that. Like, just when I say keep your weapon in front of you, it's like in line with your body movements, and make sure that the blade is at the very least, so even when you're doing this, it's still in front of your chest or your torso. So even if you happen to raise it up this way, it's, instead of being like this, you're like this. Now, again, your body helps to deliver. See? So, yeah, I hope that, hope you guys can make use of that. Now let's take another sip of this without choking on it. This is really good, by the way. My girlfriend got this for me. Hustle matcha tea with some lemonade whipped into it. And apparently she found it at Trader Joe's, and it's really refreshing. It just has this kind of clean taste. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit. It has this sort of clean taste to it that just, I really enjoy it. It's really good. Let's see, Scott's kind of saying that, yeah, the wider motions also removes your sword from being an immediate threat to the enemy. Right? Exactly. Exactly. In fact, there's a lot of stuff I see in certain Chinese forms where I'm like, that move would really be good if they didn't make it so big. Like, one of my favorite things I've seen is where you will follow your opponent with like these upward strikes. Upward strikes in swordsmanship, by the way, tend to be really sneaky. Like so many people are used to overhead strikes or forward strikes that come from the side, but when you suddenly cut under, it throws a lot of people off, and you usually are able to get something. You can catch an arm, you can catch a leg, as long as you do it without telegraphing it. But upward strikes tend to be hard to defend against, at least if for people who don't know what they're doing, or even intermediate swordsmen. We're used to this, and all of a sudden you're coming up from under. It's hard to deal with that, especially if you, because a lot of times when you see something coming under, a lot of people overcommit with their defense, and they try to do a straight block down, and you can easily just change direction, and you got them. So the thing is, though, a lot of these return strikes work a lot better if you keep the motion small. If you're like this, I'm doing these. I mean, yeah, you might be able to push the dude back. You're making these big, gross movements, but you're not as quick. And the person can kind of see, oh, whoa, he's winding up, and can step back quick enough to just just avoid it. Or worse, sidestep is you making this big circle and catch you on your open side. And it happens. It's happened to me. Don't make big freaking movements. Like, you want to keep it small. Even like boom, boom, like counterattacks, keep them small. Okay? Just keep them small and let this power it. Don't worry so much about, I need to hit them, and then you putting all your power into your arms. Let your body handle it. This is just guiding the motion, but your body should handle it. And that's another reason why I'm saying keep the blade in front of you so that your body can properly power your motions. See? So, do want to knock that down? So, I'm hoping all that made sense. If it didn't, I'm blaming that more on my own shortcomings than you guys not understanding what I'm saying. Man, this is good. I'm now feeling bad that it's running out. I drank too much of it too quick. All right. So, with that said, that out the way, I should do a video on that properly. I want to do a video on that where I kind of show a little bit more what I'm talking about. And I want to do one on cutting as well. Particularly, I've been noticing, and this is something I've noticed for years, but I just kind of like brushed it off like, people will figure it out sooner or later. But it's popping up more and more. And it's on the fact that a lot of times when people are trying to cut through targets, whether it be bottles or tatami mats, which I really need to put some money together and get myself some proper mats. Because the more I've been doing cutting, the more I'm just thinking that as much as I do like cutting hard shell bottles, the mats I think are a better gauge ultimately on whether you're cutting right or not and whether the blade can do what it's supposed to do. But neither here or there, whatever you're trying to cut, I've noticed many times when people are trying to cut with a blade and they can't cut to the target, they'll blame the sword. And many times it is the sword's fault. Sometimes you are just swinging around a butter knife. But here's the thing. If you know what you're doing when you're trying to cut through certain targets, and your blade is not like a crowbar, you'll still be able to make a cut. I know that goes against a lot of conventional thought on this sort of thing, but you can make a decent cut with your sword when you're trying to cut through a target. A lot of times people keep blaming the blades. I've actually, and you guys have seen me do this. I actually have footage of this on YouTube already. When I was reviewing the Double Dragon doll, you will see me cut through a particular blue bottle, and then I point out, by the way, that sword was dull. And it was. I could, if it was right here, I'd show you again. I could run it across my arm. It has no edge. The dull one was sent to me accidentally. But I was still able to cut through. Part of it was because the bottle was soft, yes. But another issue was because the reason is that I knew how to get the edge alignment right. I've seen something kind of in reverse with a sharper blade, where I had a prototype katana that was sent to me for testing many years ago. And that's back when I actually had a few tatami mats to cut up. And I brought it over to a friend of mine's, and we set it up. Matt's there. I give him the sword, and he hits. And doesn't cut through, doesn't even leave a scratch. And the mat just kind of flops. And he's like, I think there's something wrong with your sword. I think we found a problem. And then he swings again, like a baseball bat, just doesn't do anything. And I knew that that sword was sharp because I had tested it before I even got there. I'm like, give me the sword. Took it, and was one hand that just went right through. And he's looking, what? Let's do it again. I'm like, your edge alignment. You're swinging it like a baseball bat. You got to slice through. You're just hitting it. Now, granted, to be fair, and by the way, the guy who was going through this is actually a really good swordsman. Like, I've sparred against him a few times, and that guy's really good. But he had never done test cutting before. So, actually being able to slice through a target wasn't something that was drilled into his muscle memory. Just the combat moves were. So him doing the first time, he's just whacking at it, expecting the edge to do the work, and it wasn't. And I'm like, nah, you gotta put your body into it. Like, I had to show him, like, get your edge alignment right, twist into it, like, you know, you have to put your torso into that. Don't just hit it. You gotta, you know, pull with your left hand, guide with your right, and then he was able to cut it. So, oh, I'm like, that's what it is. And that was with a really sharp sword. Now, if with a really sharp sword, really, really sharp, he wasn't able to cut through, imagine with people with a sword with a regular edge. Imagine the difficulties they're going to have. Now, you might be going, what do you mean a regular edge? All swords are super sharp. Not necessarily. I've been noticing lately, well, not even lately, I've been noticing for a while now in the sword market. And this is actually something that to give you guys, I have another interview that I need to put up. Well, not really an interview, more of we'll talk about antique swords, and it's another discussion with Scott Rodell. He was gracious enough to lend his time and talk a bit about his experience actually handling antiques and the difference between the swords that were used in the past and the ones that we're working with now. And he noted that he was able to cut targets with his antique Tien, and you know, then actually no, he was able to, like, you know, he was used to cutting targets with his antique Tien, but he was used to cutting like tatami mats, things like that. But these days, a lot of people don't have that, so they're cutting hard shell bottles or other weird targets that swords weren't necessarily made to cut, right? And he said that later on, when he was starting to work with modern swords he noticed had a much sharper edge than the older ones. And when he was cutting with those, he noticed the ease. But then when he wanted them to make a sword that was more like the antiques, and then they tried to cut with it, they were having a really hard time. And it wasn't necessarily because the sword sucked. It's because the sword was made to cut through flesh, not through hard plastic. And I'm finding these days, a lot of people, they're expecting now their swords to, like, and I'm guilty of this too now, because it's not, you know, when I'm testing a sword, I'm cutting the paper, and look how it slices through the paper, so that means it's a good sword. Nah, that means the sword might be a little too sharp. A lot of swords weren't made to necessarily slice through paper, but they'll still slice through flesh. They'll still cut you if used properly. They still, you know, will do what they're meant to do. Because you got to remember, for all this talk that we say about refining, you know, our movement so that, you know, when you're fighting, you can deflect the blade without necessarily damaging your edge or use the flat of your sword. In real life, things don't go that perfectly. In real life, when you're desperately fighting for your life, a technique's going to be slightly off. You might end up going edge to edge. You might accidentally strike a wall. So you want that edge to be able to preserve itself somewhat. Steel can still be damaged.
Hello.
Hey, hello. Sorry. I thought you guys were going live. So the finer your edge, the sharper your edge, the more delicate it's going to be, the easier it's going to be to chip and break and all that jazz, right? So you want your edge to have a little bit of meat on it. The Japanese, they have a term for it, niku, which literally means meat, but they like their edge to have a bit, like, they like their sword to have that kind of apple seed shape toward the edge rather than just a straight flat plane. They want meat on the edge so it could actually last longer. It's still sharp enough to cut through your target. Hello, tags. But it has enough meat so that the edge can last longer. And that's the way a lot of real swords were made, where there's, you know, there's a bit of a bevel or that apple seed shape, or in the case of the Tien, they were more clam shaped than the diamond shape that we normally see now. Like nowadays, we got these super sharp swords, but they're not necessarily the sharpness that swords used to be at. And those swords in the past, yes, they can cut. They were made to cut through flesh, not through necessarily these hard shell bottles that we tend to use these days because that's what we have, because that's what we can afford. This is why I'm also saying that I kind of need to get back to getting tatami, because that's a little bit closer to the actual thing that we're cutting with. So I'm thinking that a lot of times when people who haven't cut targets before are buying swords, and they're getting a sword that's made closer to the way they used to be made, and then they're trying to hit their targets, and they're like, it's not cutting, the sword sucks. It may not be the sword, it might be you. And I'm not saying that to be insulting, because it takes a little bit of skill to learn how to cut properly. Not that much. I mean, I got my son cutting targets now, and he still has a lot to work on as far as his fundamental skill. It doesn't take much to learn how to properly cut, really. But it does take a little adjustment. You're not swinging your sword like a baseball bat. It's not going to just magically slice through just because you're swinging at it and it's sharp. A lot of super sharp swords, because of that super sharp edge, it's kind of making it easier for beginners to be able to cut targets. But when they start using swords that are a little bit closer to what edges are supposed to be like, now they're finding difficulty, because now they're forced to have to use technique. Now they're forced to have to work on body mechanics and edge alignment and all that good stuff. So don't necessarily blame the sword. Sometimes it ain't. Sometimes it is. I mean, again, not everything's made perfectly. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you might need to give that edge a touch-up, but other times it may not be. It may also be a target, too. It can be, you never know. But just want to get to that. I need to do a video on that, but I feel like I just did the video. Well, then again, not many people watch the live streams, so I can still do a video on that. But I plan to do one on that, and I need to do one on the one I just talked about before. And I got that Scott Rodell one that I need to put up. I think you guys are going to like that one. He has, rather strong opinions on things, and he really gets into it with this particular talk. I think you guys might get a kick out of it. I certainly did doing it. I'm behind getting this up. I need to get it up. Shut up. So, yeah, I'm planning on getting those soon, and I still have the other video I need to finish, which I'm almost done, but there's some last-minute edits that are kind of driving me nuts because they're not going in right. Today's just been one hell of a day. I just want to relax and just have fun with you guys. So, yeah, and Scott McGregor is saying, even with those easy mode swords, if you start trying more difficult feats, cutting hard targets, double rolls, whatever, you'll do worse because you never learn. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Like with those easy mode swords, if you don't have the proper technique drilled in you, you're going to have a harder time doing the tricky cuts, the double cuts, the ones where you got to go through thicker targets. And it's kind of funny because these days I'm seeing people who know what they're doing, but now they are using the easy mode swords. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Sorry, my brain's shutting down for a second. But I used to like watching these I guess tournaments, these contests, like on YouTube you will find cutting exhibitions or cutting tournaments or whatever, the Japanese ones. You'll see people with katana in Japan cutting tatami mats, and they test them on how well they're able to do certain cuts. Like there's certain structured cuts that they have them trying out, and I used to like watching them. And something I've been noticing lately is that now, before they used to use like katana that looked like your stereotypical like katana, the certain length, certain width, certain thickness, etc., etc. But lately I've been seeing in these contests, now they're bringing in these things that look like freaking cleavers. Like people who know what they're doing, these experts, but now they're coming in with these giant ass freaking Dotanuki type swords, and I'm just like, whoa. And I know why they're bringing them in, because it's making it easier to cut. And I'm a little surprised that the judges are allowing it, but they're allowing it. They're like, well, as long as his technique is good, it doesn't matter if he's using a lightsaber version of his katana. Fuck it. But on one hand, you can go, okay, that's cheating. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, well, this is in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. The average person is not going to get the results that they're getting. And the funny thing is, even these guys who know what they're doing, you'll still see them mess up, even with these big, super, super wide, extra sharp edge swords. I really think that if you guys want to get a bit of an eye-opener on sword cutting and the types of things that can happen and what the human body is actually capable of and what limitations the swords are, look these things up on YouTube. Like, look up these cutting exhibitions or these cutting tournaments, these Japanese ones, and see what's going on. It'd be a bit of an eye opener for you, I think. Hello, Fatty wants a cookie. And in spiritual entrepreneurs, no wait, somebody, Scholar General was asking, am I just taking the Tien classes with Rodell, or am I studying the Dao and the Mia Dao? Right now, just the Tien. I would like to take up the Dao and the Mia Dao ones, but that costs money, and I'm not made of money. Part of the reason why I have the Patreon up is to get a little bit more money. I mean, I work in IT now, and it does a really good job of paying the bills. And that's it. It covers my bills. And it gives me a little bit of extra spending cash, but that's about it. So, yeah, like the money to throw around going, okay, I'm going to be spending $50 to learn all these weapons. It's not, yeah, I'm not making that type of money yet. So, but one of these days I will. I really would like to learn the Mia Dao. I'm really interested in the Mia Dao. But it's going to be a while before I, pick that up. So, yeah, I think that's a good, I think I went pretty well in the stuff that I wanted to talk about with the sword stuff, and I hope that I gave you some gifts, so to speak, on that, bit of advice on that. So now I guess we can get into the fun. I don't know who's watching. I know one of the people who was watching yesterday, he was the person who I ended up playing Tekken with yesterday, and he was really hoping that we can get like a Tekken party going. And as much as I would love to do that, I still get the impression that most of you guys watching this right now don't play Tekken. Or at the very least don't have it on PC. If you did, I'd set up the party right now. If we have at least 4 people, then it would be a hell of a lot of fun. But I get the feeling you guys don't have it. So what I was thinking of instead was jumping back into Cyberpunk and doing that last side mission. Or at least doing a couple of good side missions and then jumping into the last Act 2 story one and seeing what happens. I haven't done it yet. I have no clue how it's going to end or what we're doing. But I was thinking of going into that, like after the big rant I did, but actually enjoying it. I did say that if I came on tonight that I would jump into it and you guys can watch me get my ass kicked or whatever. All right, later, spiritual entrepreneurs. Namaste. Take care. So yeah, if you don't mind, we can jump into that. Or actually, somebody was asking a question. Silver Seto, sorry I missed your question. You're asking, what do you think of the current state of Chinese bare hand martial arts, and do I see Chinese styles having a future in MMA? Soul Calibur, I wouldn't mind playing with you guys. All right. Are the glitches tolerable on 20? Okay, let me answer the first question, because Cyril said asked a question about Chinese martial arts. I think that right now, Chinese martial arts in the modern day are in an interesting state of flux. I mean, they've always been in a state of flux. The Chinese martial arts, if you look at its history, like its long period of history, you'll see that there's constant, like, peaks and valleys with it. It has its constant up and downs. And the reason why I'm saying that is you'll see time periods where, you'll see them talking about great heroes or great fighters, and then there'll be this period of decline when people think Chinese martial arts are useless. And then it goes back up again in people's minds, and it drops back down. It goes up and down, up and down. What we're kind of witnessing right now is, I think, the beginning of a change, an upturn possibly, in how Chinese martial arts are being, seen. Because when MMA showed up, mixed martial arts, and you gotta, by the way, something that I should stress about MMA is that it isn't necessarily new. It's new in the sense of it's how it's marketed and how it's being approached, but MMA means mixed martial arts, and the concept of mixed martial arts is not new. It's a concept that's been going on in many different cultures over many different years. The fact that, I know this style, but it's missing something, and if I put this style and mix these techniques, I'm more complete. This happens all the time. Chinese martial arts have done that. Japanese martial arts have done that. So many times they'll be like, I'm really good at this, but I'm missing this. So if I add this to my set of skills, I'm more complete. A good example I could give for that, like for instance, anyone who knows a bit about traditional Chinese martial arts, I'm sure you know about Pigua and Bagua. No, no, sorry, Pigua and Baji. Pigua Zhang and Baji Chuan. Those are considered two separate styles these days, but it was said that in the past the two styles were together and they completed one another. Baji Chuan is a style known for pretty much just driving right into an opponent and just sending them flying. It's a very powerful, hard-hitting, I must, get the hell out of my way bodyguard style. And it's got a lot of like really powerful straight blasts and elbow strikes and shoulder bashes. Like when you hit somebody with this style, they go flying. Interestingly enough, the character that I was using in Tekken yesterday, Leo, that's the style they use. And if you notice, I had moves that sent the person flying. And those are traditional movements, by the way. Pigua Zhang, on the other hand, is known more for a lot of whipping arm strikes and more circular movement. Not necessarily circular like Bagua Zhang, but the footwork is not as linear. There's still linear stuff. But instead of just its blows that just bash through, now you got these whip-like strikes that go around linear strikes. And you put your whole body into the blow. Whereas Baji Chuan, you're smashing them with a vertical fist, or you're elbowing right into them, or you're shouldering right into them and stuff like that. Pigua Zhang, it has these kind of windmill-like motions and these snappy punch motions. And you're striking a lot with the forearms. You do also have shoulder strikes, so you're striking a lot with the forearms, the back of your hand, and these really quick motions. And you can see how the two styles complement each other. Like, separate, they're pretty good. You put the two together, oh, holy, now it looks a lot more complete. And a lot of people used to combine the two. Like, yeah, you put the two together, there were sayings about that once. I wish I remember the exact quote. But it was something along the lines of, like, even demons and gods will fear someone who puts Baji Chuan and Pigua together. So this is not a new concept, mixing styles together to make yourself more effective. Xingyi stylists, for instance, would take up Bagua Zhang to complete their style in a similar fashion, because Xingyi moves in a straight line, more or less. This is very, very generally speaking. Broadly speaking, Xingyi is known for moving straight into your opponent and driving through them. Bagua Zhang is known for coming at you at angles. I know a lot of people say it's circular walking, and yeah, you train circular walking, but in actual application, you're not necessarily walking circles around them. You're attacking them in oblique angles. So, if you're mostly used to just going in a straight line, now you're dealing with somebody who's coming at you at angles that might throw you off. But if you know how to fight at angles as well as in straight lines, now you're more complete. So Xingyi stylists used to take up Bagua Zhang to fill up that hole. There would be like long stylists, long fist stylists or Changchuan stylists, who would then take up something like what's that wrestling art? It's not Sanda. Sanda is their sparring thing. It'll come to me. But there's a Chinese wrestling art that you go into the throws and the tumbling and falling on the ground and things like that. There would be striking artists who would take up that style to be more complete. There were people who were wrestlers who took up Bagua Zhang just to throw some more strikes into their repertoire. Things like that. It's nothing new to mix stuff up. So MMA is just a modern version of that. It's just a modern interpretation of, I'm good at this, but now let's add this stuff into me. Yeah, Shui Jiao. Thank you very much, Silver Sita. Shui Jiao. That's the Chinese wrestling art. Modern martial arts these days, mixed martial arts, MMA, is just it's just a modern version of this, except instead of just simply combining styles from just one culture, now they're taking it from everywhere. I'm really good at wrestling, but I know I need to pick up some striking, so I'll take up some boxing, and I'll pick up some of the kicking techniques of maybe karate, or later these days now people are picking up kicking arts of karate, taekwondo, or Muay Thai. Muay Thai is a more popular one to pick up, but people these days are going into other ones. And I'll pick up some of the hand striking for boxing, and I'll throw in some wrestling and some Brazilian jiu-jitsu for my ground game, and now I'm more complete. Same thinking. It's the same thing. So to take all this back around to Chinese martial arts. Chinese martial arts or martial artists have gotten so rooted in their ways of sticking with traditional and sometimes completely outdated ways of thinking that when they started bumping up to the people who just simply cared about being effective, they were getting blown away. Right? And what modern mixed martial arts has been doing has been exposing people who didn't know how to fight. That's pretty much what it's been doing. And it's been forcing people who want to have to take their fighting skills seriously to have to change up their training methods. Now, in the beginning, it was looking like, oh, the Chinese guys they just don't get it. They're getting their asses kicked. MMA's going to beat them up. MMA's going to beat them up. And now I'm seeing more and more Chinese stylists taking up MMA style training. I've been seeing it over and over again. If you happen to search on YouTube, or if you happen to be on Instagram or something and sign up to one of those kung fu channels or those kung fu accounts, you will see kung fu stylists doing things like throwing around the wrestling body bag shaped like humans. You'll see them throwing in ground game mixed in with their Wing Chun strikes. You'll see them now employing wrestling and leg locking techniques and ground and pound and all that type of stuff mixed in with their traditional movements. They're learning fast. And they're doing it in a way that looks like it marries quite well with their martial art. They're beginning to relearn the stuff that was already in their art that they never bothered with because they never properly fought with that style before. So I think you give this another couple of years and the Chinese stylists are going to be caught up. There's this big push I've been noticing with the more hardcore among them to be like, nah, we're not going to be left in the dust. And this is something that we've seen already. If you look at the Republican era of Chinese history, right when the Qing dynasty fell, and now you got the Republican era, look at what was going on with Chinese martial arts at that time, and you're going to see something similar. You're going to see the similar thing of, they're laughing at us. We can't have that. Time to figure out what they're doing to make themselves strong. So right now, yes, if you're looking at how Chinese martial arts overall, traditional Chinese martial arts do have some catching up to do. Overall, individually, there's some people who already knew how to fight. It's just that they weren't famous, but they knew what they were doing, and they were the ones complaining. They were the ones warning. Look, you guys don't know. You don't understand. This flailing in the air is not going to teach you how to fight. You don't know what real fighting is. And they were trying to warn the other traditional artists, and they weren't listening. Then the MMA guys came up and made them look like idiots. And then you get that one guy in China who's going on knocking out the fake martial arts masters, and now it's a lot of schools in China, a lot of fighters in China, we're looking at these videos going, I don't want that to be me. Hell no, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to get my ass kicked on national television, no. So, yeah, Ramsey Dewey's channel, good content. And on there, you'll see the same thing. Ramsey Dewey's channel is really good at looking at the state of martial arts in China, because he's in China, and he trains in MMA, and he talks about this kind of clash going on. But interestingly enough, he doesn't completely condemn Chinese traditional arts either. More, he condemns the way that they've been training in this sort of lighthearted way that has little to do with actual combat. A couple of really good videos he has is where he actually brought in a Bagua stylist to spar with, and the Bagua guy was actually going toe-to-toe with him really well. And he was talking about the really interesting mechanics and how Bagua works. But notice the Bagua guy was training to fight, not to dance around. So, sorry about the sound levels. I'm trying to improve things. If it's bouncing all over the place, I'm sorry. It could be also maybe because I'm moving around. This is one of those mics where if I'm not here, if I move over here, then it's going to be a bit less. If I'm over here, then it's a lot better. So this mic, I need to replace this bastard. It's I think I've had enough with having to be in a specific spot just to make it so that people can hear me. Anyway. So yeah, just to answer that question, this is my long answer of saying that I think Chinese martial arts are catching up to the reality of actual fighting, and maybe one of these days, give it about a year, 2 years, 3 years, I think we might start seeing more Chinese stuff in the octagon. I think it's still going to take a while, but I think more and more we're going to get a chance to see it. So, all right. Lethal League Blaze. Do we have somebody saying that you just got Lethal League Blaze? Do we have enough for that? I don't know. If we have more people playing it, that would be great. Somebody's talking about Soul Calibur. If we wanted to jump into that, if a lot of you guys have Soul Calibur, I have it. I don't mind jumping in and playing with you guys. How varied are Tien compared to European swords? I don't think as varied, but it's a weird answer. It's a weird question to answer. Because, okay, you know how people when they first start learning about swords and they'll learn about European stuff and they think a sword is a sword is a sword. So they're like, well, longsword. They'll just say longsword. And they don't seem to realize that there are several types of longsword. And then you have your arming swords. Isn't it a longsword? No, an arming sword is one-handed. Longsword is two-handed. What about this bastard sword? Bastard is not exactly a hard... It's not an official term. And some people call it hand and a half. And what about this one over here? That's a side sword, which happens to be kind of a marrying between an arming sword, and you see the evolution between that and a rapier. Well, are rapiers pokey? Well, some of them used to cut. You see how you got all this variation going on? But in the beginning, people just simply said, well, it's just a long sword. Well, no, not. Tien is sort of the same way. There are some variations, though I will say that the variations tend to happen over the years. Sort of the same thing with European swords. But you don't see as much specialization. Like, you will see, like, a change from these sort of cut and thrusts to, like, later on straight up thrusting swords or other ones dedicated to cutting. The Chinese pretty much already had that once they moved over to the Dao. And then later on, they're like, cutting is a lot more effective militarily than just simply thrusting all the time. And if we want to thrust, we got the spear for that. So then the Gen sort of disappeared from the battlefield until the Ming Dynasty, and then it disappeared again after the Ming Dynasty. So it's like, you do see variations, but not, I don't think, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't think you see them to the extent that you see with European stuff. Though you will see, like, the more you dive in, the more you might be able to go, well, you see this one's more two-handed and one-handed, and this one seems to be a marrying of the two, and this one's a hell of a lot heavier than the typical ones out there. Yeah, you'll see those type of variations, but they're kind of like one-offs here and there, like twos and fews, and not necessarily a huge category of, okay, a whole bunch of swords are like this, except for the stuff that we typically see. And we also have to remember that when we're thinking of a Tien in our minds, we're mostly thinking of swords that were showing up during the Ming and Qing dynasties. And they are kind of different beasts from swords that were used in the past. Like, you got a sword like, say, this, which is more of like a Ming or Qing design, where you got this kind of big hand guard, and the blade is around 28 to 30 inches or so. And, these sort of fittings, and they weigh about 2 pounds, maybe a little over 2 pounds. And then, and unfortunately I don't have it here, they're all upstairs. Yeah, damn it, they're all upstairs. Then you have the Hanjen that I, recently been reviewing, which are longer and thinner. And they have a very tiny handguard, and it's, they might have been used slightly differently. So you got this huge divide, and you got all this space in the middle where you might see these civilian type weapons, but they didn't really change all that much. It's weird. So I guess this is a long-winded way of saying I don't think there is as much variation. There is some variation, but it's the type of variation that you see down the line as an evolution, instead of a straight up, oh, there's this type of Tien, and then there's this type of Tien, and then there's this type of Tien, and the most I see with it is, okay, you got these different types of Tien over different dynasties, and then you got your one- and two-handed variations. And you'll have some that are lighter than others and some that are longer and shorter than others, but that's about it. You're not going to be finding these specialist variations. And you, well, what about the ones that are really good at cutting? Well, the Chinese were more like, well, if we want a straight-up cut, then we'll go with a Dao. And I find more variation with the Dao than with Tien. You'll see all types of Dao in China, because those were the weapons that were used a lot more often, actually. So, I hope that answers that question. Bagua Zhang reminds you of the Spanish rapier with all the angular attacks. Yeah. They love attacking you at a weak angle. Bagua Zhang loves attacking at your obliques rather than straight on. Like, they don't like attacking you either straight forward or straight side to side. It's always going to be an X. They're going to come at you at the diagonals because that's where you're weakest. Believe it or not. And I remember talking about that before. Alright. Make up Dao variations. Yeah, Scholar General already talked about it. There's like 1 million Dao variations to make up for the similarities in Tien types. Exactly. China also had good quality steel for a lot longer. Might encourage them to refine rather than reinvent. Good point. Very good point there, Scott McGregor. Alright, so it is now 10:38. And what I'm going to do at this point, I could go into the cyberpunk thing and try to do that mission in front of you guys. Or if we have enough people who want to jump into either, like, say, I don't think we have enough people playing Tekken, unfortunately. Heathens. Blasphemers. Though it seems a few of you might actually have Soul Calibur. Like, how many of you guys actually have Soul Calibur on PC? Soul Calibur 6. Just let me. Have I watched Ranton? Yes, I have seen Ranton, and I find this channel to be pretty interesting. Mm. Yeah, it's going silent right now. Yeah, how many of you guys? I should have. You know what? I really should have just put up a voting poll before I did this, just asking people how many of you have this, or how many of you have that. Like, how many people have Lethal League Blaze? How many people have Soul Calibur 6? How many people got Tekken? So we can jump into that, and then that will help me gauge if we can do a multiplayer thing tonight or not. Yeah, I miss the days when Tribes used to be a game that people played a lot of, because you could get up to 64 freaking people playing that. That would be fun. And then again, there is Destiny 2, which also we can get a whole lot of people jumping in and playing. So you got it, but only on PS4. Damn. Step up your 3D fighting game ownership. I mean, there's also Street Fighter. I mean, if you guys have Street Fighter 5, I could play that. And Street Fighter 5 is cross-play. So if you have it on PlayStation 4, we can play against each other. PS4 player. Siege Tribes takes you back. Yeah, that shows you how old I am, right? That I remember that stuff. Some of you guys know how old I am. Some of you don't. And the few of you that don't, when I drop my age, like, people always look at me cross like, how old? Really? No. Yeah, I'm that old. It's a little bit easier to tell now because I got my beard and everything, but usually when I shave, people cannot tell how old I am. Don't have your games installed yet. I understand that. Andrew K is saying, still talking about Spanish, are obsessive about their angles. Broadsword also uses them. Well, Spaniards barely even bend their knees. Zero fighting games. Sorry, I understand that. You need to play some fighting games. It's an obsession of mine. Fighting games is just, it's just one of my quirks. Again, Street Fighter 2 ruined me. It really did. There's just something about going head to head with people that is a lot of fun. But then again, I'm not. I'm really into fighting games, and I guess you might call it, like, I don't really consider myself part of the fighting game community, even though I have been. I grew up in it. I used to be in the arcades, trash talking with other people, but I'm not so hardcore where it's like, "Ich me life," and I'll like trash talk you and yell at you to quit when you lose. I like the fun aspects of going head to head with people. Like, you saw me last night. Even when I was getting my ass kicked, I was having fun. You know, it's the same. It's sort of a similar attitude that I have when I'm sparring with people. I love to spar. I don't like to fight, but I love to spar. That whenever I bump into another real martial artist, the back of my head, wait, you know what? You know boxing? You any good? We got a backyard. You wanna go in the backyard? I just like mixing it up, and I like learning new things and seeing where my weaknesses are and then working on that. That to me is fun. You know, like, it's like, cats playing against each other. They have fun doing that. Let's see. Looking at the stuff again. Once I get it up and running, I love to play some Tekken 7 or Street Fighter. Awesome. I know we don't play multiplayer games. Have I heard of Absolver? I do have Absolver, and I have not played it yet. And I really would like to get into it at some point, but I need some people to play it with. Street Fighter 2 cabinet in the break room. Good old Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 was an obsession. I remember when Street Fighter 2 first came out, I was horrible at it because nobody would show me anything, and the internet wasn't big back then. You couldn't just look online to find moves and combos and stuff. Like, you had to hope that the latest edition of your favorite video game magazine would show you something. When I finally started getting good was when I started playing in Chinatown. Because before I used to play in the pizzeria next to my school in Brooklyn. And we would all crowd around there after school, and there were people there who knew how to play, and then people who didn't know how to play. And the people who didn't know how to play, we'd be asking, like, how did you do this? How did you do that? Learn to play, you fucking scrub. I had to go to Chinatown. And those of you who remember New York back in the 90s, remember that one big arcade room in Chinatown? I think it was on Mott Street. Was it Mott Street? No, it wasn't Mott. But it was near Mott Street. But there was that one big old arcade, remember? After a while, it became like the place to play fighting games at. And I went over there, and the people over there used to kick my ass, but they would actually tell me how they were doing it. They're like, okay, you need to do this with you, or you got to go with this, you're not going to need to do that. And that's how I got good. I started playing there. Then I went back to Brooklyn and started stomping people out. And that's when I was like, yeah, it's vengeance time. And that's when I was actually able to earn a little bit of money playing. Like, all right, put your money where your mouth is. You're going to earn me some pizza money today. I need to get a slice. I'll bet this dollar I'll kick your ass with Chun-Li. And then I'd win, you know. Miss those days. To Blanca for the win, assuming someone didn't cheap out on Ryu or Ken with the broken bit that would beat anything. I'm sorry, I'm a Ryu player. So, yeah, if you're the type of person who didn't know how to get out the way of the basic Dragon Punch Fireball trap, yeah, I was going to kick your ass. I knew how to do other stuff, but I would test you always with the Dragon Punch Fireball trap. And if you couldn't get past that, then I knew you weren't that good yet. PC gaming fails, so troubleshooting it. You got Absolver yesterday. It's pretty interesting as a fighting concept, learning moves by avoiding your opponent's strikes. I need to play Absolver. I really do need to get into that game, like figure it out, because it looks really interesting. Looks really, really interesting. It's 1044. Chun-Li OP. It depends on which game you're playing. The original Street Fighter 2, Chun-Li was a nightmare, though a lot of people didn't know what she was really capable of. Most people playing Chun-Li back then, they would just jump around and spam the lightning legs all day. They didn't realize that she actually had a 4-hit chain punch combo that would just fuck you up. Flying Fierce, Flying Fierce, jab, forward. No, I forgot the original names for the punch buttons. It was Fierce, jab, jab, strong, fierce. That was it. If you played Chun-Li back then and you got the timing right for that 4-punch combo, it was an instant dizzy, and it did ridiculous amounts of damage. Flying Fierce into jab, strong, fierce, instant dizzy. Then you went and did it again. Most of their life is gone. Then come in for one more quick combo, game over. Most people were just relying on the kick stuff, and yeah, the kick stuff's fun, but what the fuck? And then when Super Street Fighter came out, where you're able to start doing your hurricane motions in midair, an evil move you can do with Chun-Li to really get people confused was to jump in, but instead of doing a flying kick, you did the hop kick instead. And if you did it deep enough, you can get up to 3 hits with the hop kick. It looked like you were climbing up them, then quickly snap the joystick up and press kick, and you spinning bird kicked out of the way. And that always had people going, what the fuck, the first time you did it to them. It was hilarious. But yeah, those old days Chun-Li was ridiculous. When the Alpha series came out, I always felt that she was toned down. She wasn't as strong as she used to be in the Alpha series. She was still good, but I don't think she was OP. When Street Fighter 3 came out, it was ridiculous with her. And the funny thing is, on paper, she shouldn't be that strong. It was just the fact that because you were able to link her super into the quickest, lightest kick that she had, that made her a monster on the ground in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. But that was it. That was pretty much it. It was just the fact that other characters just didn't have a way to deal with that made her so OP. But on paper, a lot of her normals aren't that good. But if you look at a repertoire and look at the way people use Chun-Li, all they're really doing is building up their meter so they can catch you with the light kick into the super. That's it. They're not setting up other juggles. They're not, setting up like other crazy stuff. That she jumps too high. Some of her kicks leave her wide open for, whiff punishing. But once you've built up that meter, you have them. All you need to do is for them to miss. You go in with that light kick, that light low kick, and just freaking hit confirm it. The second you see it hits, go into your super. Then super jump from the super to do the freaking heel kicks on them, and then F them up that way. That's the main reason why she's OP in Third Strike. That's it. Just that one tactic. You can tell I've played a lot of fighting games. Anyway, have I played Grand Blue Fantasy Versus? No, I have not. I would like to get into it, but I got so heavy into Tekken 7, I just didn't have the time to really learn other fighting games. I would like to, but that's eating up a big chunk of my time. So, yeah, I haven't played it, but I have seen it, and I do like how it plays. It's sort of like the Guilty Gear games, where I actually have those, but I haven't played them that often, and I really would like to. Like, Guilty Gear is one of those games I really want to learn. But that's a game that you really need to sit down and study. Kind of like Tekken 7, too. So, Is Baiken back in one of the Guilty Gear games? The latest one that's coming out, yes. And I think the older one, she's in that one too. I could check real quick for you guys, actually. Hold on. I can tell you right. I know the new one they've announced that she's coming out in the latest one. But I think she's in the last one as well. I can tell you in a second. It was Guilty Gear Xrd. I really wish they would just use regular freaking names so I can see which one was the latest one. It was Guilty Gear Xrd. Was it Revelator or was it Sign that was the latest fucking one? I think Revelator was the latest one. I don't know. Okay, yeah, so Revelator I think is the latest one. And is Baiken in it? Baiken's freaking awesome. I don't think I see her in there though. Bedman with us, Sin Kiss, the Raven. No Baiken. At least not in Revelator. What about Revision 2? Okay. This is an update for Revelator. Okay. So this one... Oh, it has Baiken. Okay, so the latest version of Guilty Gear that's actually out, not the newest one that they're making, Guilty Gear Xrd Revision 2, that one has Baiken in it. And I know that the new one that they're making also, they announced that Baiken's going to be in that as well. So, there you go. Okay, so enough waffling. I need to make a decision here. It doesn't look like a lot of you guys are sharing the same game that we all have. I should just organize this at some point. Like, you know what? I want us to play this. Whoever can pick this up and it's cheap. But this is all haphazard and kind of half-assed, which I need to stop doing that shit. So, if you guys do not mind, and you can let me know right now if you mind or not. I can jump into the whole Cyberpunk thing and then do that side mission and we can all laugh at my failures and play that. Or we can go into the fighting games. Like, which would you prefer? Oh, opinions on the Wukong Souls game trailer? I thought it was awesome. I am really looking forward to when that game comes out. Let's just hope that they actually put it out when they're ready and not push it out because investors told them to, like a certain futuristic dystopian game that takes place in 2077. Don't blow myself up this time. That might actually happen. I'm going into a side mission where I have no idea what's going to happen. So. Alright, so we got at least one vote for Cyberpunk. Someone's playing Cyberpunk right now. Cool. Crap, I won't be able to make it. It's a game worth playing full price when it comes down to it. Someone else saying, so, okay, you know what, it's looking like, yeah, most people are telling me to get into that and then get my ass kicked. If you want to know my opinion on it, just look at yesterday's live stream. I rant about it for like, 45 minutes straight to an hour. You're voting fighting games, but that's because you play a lot of Tekken and Soul Calibur anyway. Yeah, you and I play each other in that anyway, so. I am so glad they improved the netcode. I really am. I really, really am. We need to get my brother, remember when my Sadworm had played against me and my brother, and my brother was getting back into the swing of things. We need to get him back in. I'm hoping that he's been practicing, because normally my brother is insane. He's like a demon with fighting games. You do not want to play him, you don't want to play against this Ken in any version of Street Fighter. It's just holy shite. Okay, so you're gonna fighting games. I'd like to do fighting games. We need to see how many people play those first. It doesn't look like that many people are playing, unfortunately, Midas. I would like to, but it doesn't seem that many people are. Like I mentioned Tekken, I mentioned Soul Calibur, I mentioned Street Fighter V, and I'm not really seeing any strong people going through this. Like, I mean, there's a couple of people saying, "Oh, I got this," with no strong opinions on. We should jump into it. On the I forgot the winter sale is going on. And Dragon Ball Fighter Z. You know, it's kind of interesting. I remember when I first heard of the Fighter Ball, when Dragon Ball Fighter Z was being announced, I'm like, holy shit, they're doing what? They're making a real versus game, but they're putting Dragon Ball FighterZ, sign me up! And it's been many years now, and I still have yet to buy that game. I don't know why. I'm not exactly sure why it is that I just don't feel the urge to buy it. It looks fun, it looks crazy, but I just don't. Maybe it's just the fact that it seems that almost everybody in the game fights the same. Is it just me? If you guys actually have that game, tell me if I'm the ignorant one here, and I'm not really understanding the nuance of the game. But it just feels like to me that almost all of them fight the same. Am I missing something? Like normally I can look at a game and even though other people go, it just looks like the same moves, and I'll be like, no, no, you gotta. This guy, this person's a rush down. This person's more defensive. This person sets you up for counterplay. Every match I've seen of in Dragon Ball Fighter C, they all just look like straight up rushdown. Whoever gets the first hit wins. Like that's what it looks like to me. Am I wrong? I get the feeling I'm wrong, but it's I don't know. I don't know. All right, let me boot up CP2077 and get this rolling. I have to be careful though because it's still doing that thing where if I have OBS on and then I start it, it crashes. Where would you prefer me being? Would you prefer me being up here in the corner or down here in the bottom center? Like that. Like what works better? Like here or up there? For you guys. Because you're the ones who have to watch this. I don't see this when I'm playing the game. Corner. One person votes corner. How do I feel like team play games like Left 4 Dead or Deep Rock Galaxy? I love team play games. That's something else I wouldn't mind playing with you guys. Top right corner. Up in the corner. Okay, then up in the corner it is. Somebody says top right, though. Instead of top left. I prefer here because I need the mini-map over here. But, anyway. But yeah, Left 4 Dead, Killing Floor 2, Payday 2, I love team player games. When it comes to competitive games, I do like them, but when it comes to competitive, I'd rather play fighters. I do enjoy competitive first-person shooters, but I notice that I lean more toward fighters when it comes to being competitive. But when it comes to first-person shooters, I prefer being I'd rather do co-op because I just like being in the whole thing of, okay, I'm moving in, cover me, I'm trying to move this, I'm trying to get there. You know, I love that aspect of first-person shooters. So, yeah, Killing Floor 2 and Payday 2 are probably my two favorite games to play co-op in. Payday 2 is old as hell. It's cheap as hell these days. And holy shit, I hope that when they finally finish Payday 3, I heard that they're not working with that old-ass engine of theirs anymore because that game is horribly optimized. It's a great game, but holy shit, it's running on freaking spit and polish and crazy glue. Killing Floor 2 is awesome, but I know some people are burnt out on it. I'm not, but I really do like it. Do I play strategy games? I used to be heavy in strategy games. I don't play them often anymore. The last one why did I suddenly forget the name of that game? Command and Conquer I used to play a lot. Of course, the old Warcraft games I used to play a lot. And then there's like was one, I just talked about it yesterday. I'm getting really freaking old that I'm beginning to forget the names of games that I like playing. But yeah, I don't play them often as I used to, but I still do like them. And I need to get back to a couple of them. Alright, let's hope that this doesn't crash. It might. If it crashes again, then what I'm going to do is put this on Windows borderless and hope that doesn't screw up things. And tell me if the sound is too loud. Before I started the stream, I actually went into the game and changed the settings so that the copyright music wouldn't play, and I cut the sound down to about 45. So I'm hoping that you're not completely overshadowed by all the noise. And I just realized, well, never mind, doesn't matter. We'll just cover up all that shit anyway. Boom. So when we last left our intrepid hero, he had just finished recovering from blowing himself up walking up a ladder. It'll probably crash again. It's freaking Cyberpunk. Though actually, this morning when I woke up, I'm still having some weird problems with my computer where every now and then I'll leave it on for a few hours and I come back and it's soft frozen. and then I have to hard reset it. And I've been struggling with that lately, and I'm beginning to worry that I might need to reinstall Windows. And I first thought that maybe it's my drivers causing the problem. And so I reinstalled my drivers, and I noticed when I reinstalled my drivers, I actually got some improvement in my game. I mean, I'm still not able to keep it at a consistent 60 frames per second, and I just got my ass run over. But now it's no longer... Like, I've actually been more consistently at 60 in certain areas, where normally I wasn't. Right now I'm at 30, which is pissing me off, but I am in the middle of the city with a lot of crap going on. Oh my fucking god, I can't wait for them to optimize this. Because again, I'm using a card that's supposed to be one of the more recommended ones. This is too loud. You know what? Even though I normally don't listen to this station, I have a feeling this one's going to be quieter. So I won't feel like I'm shouting over you guys. So we're playing some freaking jazz, damn it. Even though I normally don't listen to jazz in this. I mean, I listen to jazz in real life, but not in this game. Let's warm up by shooting some punks. And also I get to show you some of the evil ways that I play this game. This car that I got, by the way, those of you who are playing this game probably already know that you can get this car for free. You just need to do a certain... Holy shit, the frame rates are really horrible today. It normally isn't this bad. It's probably because I got OBS on and freaking streaming and this. Yeah. Plus I have the, yeah, I probably got too many processes going on right now, which is what's messing up my frame rate. But holy shit, this is horrible. Oh well. Which is funny, because then when I'm playing Tekken, and I'm playing somebody literally in another freaking country, no frame rate problems. Get your act together, CD Projekt Red. Yep, I knew they were going to make me turn here. Did you just see that with the GPS? Like, they had me basically wanting to do a loop-de-loop first before just simply going straight to the freaking right. Again, get your act together, CD Projekt Red. Alright, so... I'm not really seeing where the hell... Oh, it's 125 meters this way. Out my way! Alright, I want to sneak in. I don't want to just simply go in guns blazing. Alright, you're about to have a scare, Mr. Homeless Guy. Huh. Alright. Well, at least you escaped. That's a little too close for comfort. He's gonna see me if I don't do something quick. Okay, so that, that, ping. How many motherfuckers? Man, they're all close too. Shit. Alright, let's test how stupid the AI is. Alright, so he should come this way. Let's see if he's dumb enough to walk over. Come on, walk to the stairs. That's it. Say cheese. Oh, come on! Damn it. I really need to, like, get... I mean, I could use my sniper rifle. It's just that it's too slow. So that's two. What the hell? Now, if this person was smart, they'd realize I'm on the stairs doing this. But they're not so smart. And that's another. I think I might have gotten all of them. Yeah, I did. Looks like she got her ass kicked, but I think I might have saved your life. I don't think I need a Sin Leather Bustier. Whoa, 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 what the? Aren't you the lucky one? You got the drop on me. That's your reward. Oh, somebody else is out there. Oh, hi. If you're just going to stand there. You okay, Mr. Homeless Dude?
I think you showed up.
Yeah, that's the voice that would come out of a man looking like that. He looks like he's dressed up for the wrong game. Didn't he look like he was dressed up for, like, I don't know, The Witcher or like Skyrim than in a Cyberpunk game? Alright, so what the fuck? I have no need of that. No need of that whatsoever. Tail. Hide somewhere, let me know to send my people. You know what they do to cops. So Maria's dead. That would probably be this woman right over here. Or is it the, oh no, it's the cop. Alright, so she gone. Sorry. Couldn't get here fast enough. I'll take that, but only to break it down. I'm most certainly not going to put it on my character. I could probably sell those. Actually, that's crap. I'm not going to bother with that one. This one, maybe. I'm going to break it down. And what do we have here? Grenade. Why not? Bloody knife and archive conversation. I don't think the cops are headed for Twister. Yep, so yep, this is, she ended up getting freaking assassinated. Yeah, sound like a young white dude. Did not sound like an old dark-skinned father. Oh boy. Where do I recommend getting swords from? It depends on what type of sword you want to get, but if you're just simply saying swords in general, I always recommend off the bat, go to Cult of Athena. They're really good. They're reputable sellers. They sell swords from all sorts of different companies, and they usually try their best not to sell junk. I mean, a main distributor, they're going to end up having junk companies simply because that's just the nature of the beast. But most of their the stuff that they sell tends to be pretty good. They have great customer service, and they pretty much have just about every sword you can think of. So usually I recommend go to Cult of Athena. If you're talking about individual forges or specific businesses making different types of swords, then yeah, that's going to be a long conversation. Because like I can recommend certain ones, but I always recommend certain ones with caveats. Okay. And oh shit, I didn't realize I could have gotten all three. Oh, I fucked up again. Alright, fine, whatever. I got two of them. I wasn't paying attention. I was busy like looking at the other screen and then clicking. Am I going to get the mantis blades? I'm still debating whether I should get the mantis blades or not. I mean, I've put some skills in blades. I'm just constantly using a katana. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Time to break this crap down. No. I was thinking of playing around with this gun, but I don't know if I really want to. I know I don't use shotguns with this character, so I break them down almost every time I see them, or just automatically sell them. Actually, while I am here, whoa, you're doing how much? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna break you down just for the parts, but I'm gonna switch to you and see what you do when I play around with it. I want to see what it does, but in the meantime, one tip I can give for you guys who play this game, but you can see I got a crap ton of consumables, and I really do need to use these more often. And are there any actual swords besides katanas in this game? Not really. I mean, they're machetes, and then they're knives, but that's about it. Everything else is pretty much katanas. Though, if that gets on your nerves, like I thought it was going to get on my nerves, some of the katanas look a little bit different, so sometimes I pretend that I'm swinging around Miyadao. Or like some kind of technical looking Miyadao or whatever, so, you know, whatever makes you happy, I guess. Anyway, I was going to say about the consumables, don't neglect these. They're not just there to, like, either give you, like, you know, refill your life or make your stamina refill faster or something, but you can also use them to give yourself boosts that last for, like, half an hour or so. So, for instance, this right here, if I use this, now it increases my max units by 2, which is going to be useful for me, so I'm going to take one. I'm then going to take one of these, a capacity booster, which increases my carrying capacity by 50%. So now, notice it jumped up to 420 for half a freaking hour. Of course, you got different types of healing ones. So if you want to heal better than you're normally doing, you might want to switch to those. Like, don't neglect these. These can really help. Of course, don't drink the alcoholic stuff unless you want to pretend you're drunk, but then that'll mess you up in combat. Soy paste, really? Fuck it, I'll just take that anyway. And then I'll drink this just to boost up the stamina, and yeah. Now, if you notice, I got a couple of boosts there that are going to last a long time. And that will help me out with, other particular cases. Oh, let's go for 750. I'll pick that up. You don't need that ring anymore. You're dead. Pistol ammo, I definitely need that because I'm constantly chewing through it. What do you got? What do you have, sir? I'll pick that up. Why not? I'll either break it down or sell it. But yeah, this build, this is more like a net running kind of stealthy pistol build. Out my way, people. God, this frame rate is chugging, but I'm gonna chalk it up to the fact that I got so much stuff running right now. Alright, where do I want to go? Should I go straight into the next story one, or should I mess around a little bit more? I finished just about all my other ones. Well, there is one other story one, side story one. Apparently, somebody wants me to go to dinner because I helped him to save his nephew or some shit. Where the hell is it? Yeah, following the river. And then there's this one as well. I'm sure this one's still going to be around after I finish Act 2, right? Like, those of you who've played the game, the side quests, they don't end, like, suddenly. And I'm assuming there's going to be new side quests popping up when I move into the third act. At least I'm hoping for that. And I agree with you, Fox, that there was a wasted opportunity for interesting blade variety. It really does annoy me. But that could also be because the pen and paper RPG also had this obsession with katana. So, yeah. Oh. Yeah, for single edge swords anyway, just to cut down accidentally cutting your limbs off. Still got a bunch of reported crime ones that I need to look up. I have over freaking leveled right now. Look at this shit. Justice behind bars. Yeah, I do have a crap ton of icons all over the screen. But my mind just kind of glosses over all of them. I'm not really... I know a lot of people are like, it's just too much. My eyes tend to just focus on the ones that I need to focus on. So I'm not overwhelmed by a lot of it. What's this? I think we got a new one over here. Yeah, let's go over there and see what's waiting for us. Ah, shut up. You could have driven around me. It's not my fault you guys don't know how to drive. I know this is supposed to be the hero car, but I kind of don't like how it drives. Its handling is basically okay for this game. But I don't like the kind of stagger start of the engine. Like, other cars accelerate more smoothly than this one does. And it also spins out way too easily, as you just saw over there. At least I didn't crash. And yes, I am driving with a keyboard and mouse, as I said before. Normally, with this, I would use the controller, but with the controller, the driving controls are just as bad, so what's the point? What are you stopping for? This is the other thing about this game that gets on my nerves. They'll just sometimes stop for no freaking reason. Like, there's no traffic light there. There's no accident, but they'll just stop. Another thing that would benefit this game, and I'm kind of surprised that this game doesn't have it, though to be fair, a lot of games don't put this in, and I don't understand why they don't. Cruise control. You would think with a game that has a lot of automated stuff and AI and all that, that they would put cruise control in the goddamn cars. Move, you bastards. I wish the horn would do something other than make noise. Like, actually get them moving. Or at least curse me out. Holy shit, look at that frame rate drop. I remind you that I am playing this on a freaking 660 Ti. The this is just... Though, to be fair, earlier this morning, this was playing a lot smoother. So, again, I will chalk a lot of this up to all the streaming and such. But I'm able to stream other games without this problem. They need to optimize their fucking game. Alright, let's see what's going on over here. Holy shit. This is starting to turn into a freaking slideshow. They want me to go this way, and there's no way through here. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, wait, no, here we go. GPS finally caught up. This area looks somewhat familiar. Oh, it's this motherfucker. Oh, God, this guy. This freaking dude.
I answer you no, not reptilians, but werewolves. At sunset, they strip off their clothes and dance nakedly, giving in to an animalistic ecstasy.
Oh my God.
Transformed into the fanged beasts, they set off on the hunt, hungry for human flesh.
You serious?
The miles they cover in the darkness, with ferocious speed, like arrows in the night.
Alright, I'm gonna...
I don't know. It doesn't add up. They move like that while the trucks and bikes.
When the moon shines full, I said. Only 3 nights a month.
This guy has an answer for everything, huh?
They devour all in the area. In the day, they must drive to virgin lands in search of new prey. And the cause behind these monstrous horrors? Years ago,
Here we go.
from Alpha Centauri.
Of course, Alpha Centauri.
Legend tells that it carries a substance highly sought after by the vampire elite in our soccer.
Save him? What do you mean save him?
The burrows enemies into werewolves, leashed and bound to his will. But the craft, the war. You got a problem with nomads, freak?
Oh, here we go.
Shut your fat fucking mouth before I put you 6 feet under.
You can break my bones, but you cannot stop the pursuit of truth.
Eh.
Hey, hands off my spiritual leader.
I did not want to say that.
He's got a few
The wires crossed, leave him alone.
Do you know how many half-brain gunks are gonna believe the shit he's spitting? I refuse to hear about nomad cannibals one more time.
Come on, I mean, a little funny.
It's a little fun.
Yes, you two want to share a grave.
Oh, really? I'm not gonna kill them for this. Uh-oh. I wasn't paying attention to my life. Oh, well. I wasn't paying attention to my life. I was just noticing that somebody was helping me to beat them up, so... And I'm not really made for straight up brawling these dudes. So, actually, when that happens again, and I think I know what I'm going to do before this restarts. By the way, the melee in this game is horrible. I absolutely hate the fist fighting melee, but I decided to do it because I didn't really want to kill the dude. I don't want to slice them up, so I'll just switch to this. Oh, it works.
Shut your fat fucking mouth before I put you 6 feet under.
You can break my bones.
Break my bones. Alright, I'll do my best to save his... Oh, actually, I'll do... What the... Are you serious? What just happened? They just... What the... They just... Before I even got a chance to do something, they just instantly killed him. Like, what the fuck just happened? Oh my god. I was saying what was so bad about it. Well, the problem with the fist fighting is, one... I find at times you swinging at them can become unresponsive. Like, you'll find yourself not able to punch even when you got a full stamina bar. It is way too easy to lose track of the person that you're striking against. What the? Alright, so here we go again. That.
Better shut your fat fucking mouth before I put you 6 feet under.
All right, let's hope this doesn't glitch out like it did last time, because I didn't even get a chance.
Howdy, fellas. How's life with the Alvacaldos?
Look who it is. Me. It's all good. Panam's kicking off a new role.
Say, you know this nut job?
A little. He's totally harmless. Says things that make a politician look like a beacon of truth. Don't know if you're aware or not. We're all
Oh my God, maybe I should have picked a different one because I wouldn't say this.
Fuck. And here I was all
Well, offended.
Yeah. Gotta tell Saul, or, eat somebody, then disappear like an
Right.
Have a good one, B.
Okay, I did it without violence.
That was close. They're not as dangerous in the daylight. Thank you for your concern. Though I could have done without mine.
no problem. I mean, who's gonna tell me how to fake the Mars landing if I let him?
You have no faith in my word. You think I don't know when I'm lying? When they take me for a false prophet?
Should I even bother? I'll pamper him.
Interpretation, seriously. There's a little truth. Sometimes even more than a little.
You see it too? You know that behind a veil of darkness lurk creatures from our nightmares.
Dude, I didn't go that far.
You know, if you had any kind of real
Evidence in this great cosmic plot.
I do! Tonight, they're meeting at an old factory in Kabuki.
Oh, really?
Something important. Observe this. Seize this item. This Alpha Centauri artifact.
This should be good.
See, I was right from the beginning.
Wait, hold on.
How do you even know about this meeting?
About this
Mr.
meeting.
Garbage Bag wearing dude?
Their radio waves resonate within my brain. Ever since the accident, I've heard their secret broadcast.
Accident?
The accident. You know that doesn't instill confidence.
You don't understand. I have their code processor in my head. I don't know how my Ripper Dot got his hands on it. But thanks to this, I can listen into their plots and schemes.
Huh.
Help me. We can save this
That might
planet
be
together.
useful.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. Thanks for the tip.
You mustn't intervene too soon or too late. All could be lost. The fate of
Oh
the
my
planet
God.
rests upon your shoulders. Don't let us down. Do not let me down.
No pressure, guys.
Okay, you know what? All right, fine, dude. Look. Fuck, man. All right, fine. I was not expecting to do this, but this game always surprises me. All right, so let me switch back to the violent option because I am not afraid to admit that many times I feel like a lot of the dudes I'm dealing with are scums. I don't mind ending their miserable existences, but times when it doesn't make sense to kill them, I won't kill them. And yes, this is how my character looks these days. I think this really works for a sort of street shinobi type look, don't you think? Like, I think it works. You know, netrunner suit, but decent pants, because I'm not a pure netrunner. You gotta have the overcoat. You know, you gotta have them in the glasses and such. I think this works. That's a good cyberpunk one, I think. So, alright, actually, I was thinking of dumping some stuff in the stash, and like I said before, the stash between your vehicles actually works. But it doesn't work with your apartment. So once again, there's no damn reason to ever go into your freaking apartment. Why, game? Why? This is just a shotgun. I should just break that down. But that's going for $9.32, so... And there's a box nearby, so hold on. You guys can stay in the traffic jam a little bit longer. So, and I'll sell this. Oh, and, yeah, I got over 500,000 eddies now, so I'm definitely not hurting for cash. Now, as I said, yeah, the pants does look a little bit out of place. The only problem is the pants that I normally use. I just don't like the look. I'll show it to you in a bit. But anyway, if you just play this game normally and you don't waste your money on vehicles you don't need, though you could get away with one or two. But generally, if you just play the side quests and the police assaults and all that type of stuff and you sell things here and there, you're not going to be hurting for cash. You really aren't. You don't need to do all the crazy duping glitches and all that other type of stuff to make money. But if you do want to make a little extra scratch, and quite frankly, this is something that I think they're going to patch out of the game soon, though if they do keep it in there, then hey, you know what? I don't consider it cheating because they got it programmed in the damn game. There's a certain side quest where you're going to end up... Where'd it go? It's around here somewhere. It's... Unless I... No, this. You see this right over here? This little item? You can sell it for 4,000. There's one problem, though, and I'll show it to you right now, in case you didn't know about this. But when you do the side quest and you end up with this and you decide to sell it for 4,000, it'll go for 4,000, right? But let's say you want to buy it back. Actually, no, it looks like they fixed it. I think they did fix it. I think they did patch it out. Nope, they didn't. There it is. If you step out and come back in, you can pick it up for 5. Then you go back over here and roll down. And you can sell it again for another 4,000. You see where this is going? You can literally clean out all these machines by selling them, buying them back, selling it, buying it back. Just this one particular item. I am pretty sure they're going to patch this out sooner or later. But while the getting's good, if you need a little extra scratch, this is a damn good way to do it. Just sell it, buy it back, sell it, buy it back, sell it, buy it back. And make sure you buy it back before you leave so you can keep on taking advantage of it, because otherwise it'll be gone for good. But yeah, you'll be making pretty much like just under 4,000 every freaking time. It's ridiculous. They need to fix this game. They really need to fix this game. Though again, if that's something that if there's something that they purposely put into the game, then hey, more power to you. So now we're gonna shoot over to the old factory and find out what type of nonsense is happening over there. And what the fuck? Oh, I thought that was a wall. Again, the freaking stuttering frames is fucking me up. Turning this way. Oh my god, you didn't spin out that time. Good. I think I'm going to switch to a different car later because I just don't like the way this thing accelerates. Like, maybe it accelerates smoother on controller than it does on control... Wrong road. Shit. Freaking GPS! Alright. I'm sorry if the constant stuttering frame rate and such is making you guys motion sick, but again, streaming plus this game's badly optimized code. Get the fuck out of my way! I'm about to get out of this car and start shooting, but that doesn't make people drive any faster. It's not like GTA. Holy shit, the stuttering. It normally is not this bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's normally not this bad. I gotta get out of this city. God, the driving. I would rather just do this with a motorcycle, but the motorcycle does not have a working stash. Which, to be fair, makes sense, because it's not like you can store a whole lot of freaking guns in the trunk of a motorcycle. I hate driving around the city in 5 p.m. One thing I will give this game, they do at least have their times realistic. So, no, I didn't leave without grabbing the painting. The painting is still in my inventory. Look. I'll show you. It should still be there anyway. If I don't have it, then I'm going to have to rush back or reload, because there's no way in hell I'm going to leave without the painting. See, the painting's right here. See? 4,000. But yeah, the trick with this is you go to any booth, any like place that you can sell it. You sell the painting, you tab out, you get out, and then you go back in and then buy the painting for 5 eddies. Then put it back in, tab back out, go back in, buy back the painting, sell the painting, keep doing it until it runs out of money. Then take the painting back before you permanently leave. If you leave the painting in there when you finally are done with it, then it's going to be gone completely. So you want to take it back. You always want to make sure before you leave for good, take the painting back. So yeah, I still have it in my inventory because I bought it back. Good, I didn't run over the cop. God, yeah, I'm switching to a different vehicle after this. It just annoys me, that stuttering. I was gonna say earlier that I have to give this game props for having realistic times during the city, because I'm driving during rush hour, and notice how many damn vehicles are on the road. If I was driving earlier in the morning or like real late at night, it wouldn't have been that crowded. Hey, isn't this Judy's place? Yeah, and there she is, even though she's supposed to be driving to different cities. Hey, Judy. It. I, that is so weird. That, you know, this is happening real close to here. Maybe we'll give her a visit on the way back. Even though she shouldn't be there. I got to the part of the story where she left the city. Though, that's not too much of a spoiler, because depending on what you do, she might stay. But, you know, it's... Yeah. You're watching this... Oh, Johnny. What do you want, dude? Step for V. Step for humankind. You knew I was going to pick that one. Find somewhere to hide, and then they tell me exactly where to hide. Huh. John needed to hide here, too. He's in my mind, man. And you... So am I. Huh. Well, is that Maelstrom? Or is that the Tiger Claws? I can't really tell. I'm trying to remember the, It is Maelstrom. Huh. I'm gonna save here. I can't save right now. I can't do a breach protocol. Fuck. Keep a lookout. Keep a lookout by moving closer?
Wait, there's somebody over there, like with a green dot.
I want to get closer with... Okay. Just in case. Get my trusty iron out. Shit! They're smart. They can see through the windows. Okay, they're not necessarily smart, but they got their senses working.
Some actual conspiracy shit going down right now.
If I can, like, get above their heads. What? What the fuck? What? Are you serious? Okay, what the hell is going on? Is this like some kind of cult or something? I want to see what's going on, but if I move, then they're going to... See? Like, I can't really get a good view from here. Shit. Okay, they're... So they drove off. I have no... Oh, okay, I gotta seize a chip now, huh? I need to follow those people? Shit. Alright, so I need to follow those guys. Shit. Can't go through here for some idiotic reason. Alright, my car's over there, so I can at least follow them that way. Fucking barbed wire. Mysterious chip. So I'm gonna have to pretty much assassinate somebody in the car. I was close. Somebody in the car? Like, what's going on? Hi, guys. Can we talk? I guess not. You know, wait a minute. What am I doing? I got magic. You fall down. Oh, shit. Here, eat grenade. Oh, damn it. This was not what I was expecting to happen. I royally screwed up. That's not what I wanted to do to him, but that will work in a pinch. Gotcha. At this point, there's no reason to be... Whoop, healing time. There you are. That should, if not completely kill him, at least get him out of my hair for a little bit. He's still alive. Oh, no, he's not. Mystery chip. Disappointment. I wonder if there was a way to do this without the constant bloodshed. Like if I could have just rolled up, knocked him out real quick or something. I can't get at that purple item. Oh, it's just a freaking rifle anyway. I don't care. Alright. I am now going to jump back in my vehicle and I guess show this to Mr. Garbage Bag. Alright, it is now 3:47 a.m., so I'm hoping that the city is not going to be as jam-packed full of cars. Damn, look at that frame rate drop. You know, one of the... I might want to, like, actually at some point record a gameplay session when I'm not streaming to show you guys a difference. I mean, granted, it's not perfect, but it ain't this bad. What do you want, Regina?
Haven't heard of any cyber cycle attacks lately. I think it's time to put an end to our little arrangement. Drop on by sometime. I'll catch you in person.
Okay. I was it's too bad you guys didn't see all my Cyber Psycho quest stuff, but the Cyber Psycho ones weren't really all that hard for me to do. I know other people were having a hard time with those, but since I tend to play sneaky, and I also have, you know, the quick hacks installed, especially once you get system reset. Like once you get system reset, the Cyber Psycho attacks are nothing. You just gotta, you know, pull off the you know, just use system reset, hide in the corner, they fall down, you win. And since it doesn't count as a kill, that, you know, pretty much fixes everything. Motherfucker. Oh wait, this is Regina. This is I thought I was going back to Mr. Garbage Bag, dude. I didn't realize this switched. Alright, fine. I'll find out what she wants. Now I know something's up, because normally when I'm inside a building, I'm at 60 frames. And I'm at 49 right now. This is... Yeah, I see your point, by the way. I'm looking back at the text chat. I mean, oh, it's this way. I haven't been here in a while, so... Hello.
Just that I
something?
Floored by your dedication. You didn't kill a single cyber psycho.
Because I'm good at
I
this.
know how much easier and simpler it can be to take a life rather than save one. Really, V, nice work. Some of the cyberpsychotic have started therapy. Even if they can't be saved, at least maybe we'll learn more about the disease. Because I refuse to believe it's just some kind of cyberware overload. Who knows? Maybe I'll learn enough to write a piece on it.
Huh.
But anyway, the reward is yours.
Thanks.
So what did I get? I don't see anything. What? Did you guys see any cash show up on my screen?
About
Tell me something?
not really, but thanks again for the help, V.
All right, then I guess I'm done with you. What's my reward? Where's my money? Like, don't make me act like a pimp. Where the hell my money at? Look, never mind. This dude seems to be excited about something. Like, he's obviously having a crazy conversation, and yet we don't hear what the conversation is. All right. Let's go back to Mr. Garbage Bag Wearing Dude and give him the chip. Yeah, that is rather anticlimactic, isn't it? Like, where's my... I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. This reminds me of when Spoonie was talking about the last Ultimate game that came out, and there's like this quest that you have to do, like this hidden quest where you gotta like find all these special gems for this lighthouse, and then when you finally complete it, all you get is $100. And you don't, and it's hard to even tell that you got the $100. Like, this is kind of what it feels like, unless the game kind of glitched out and I missed something. I bet you we're gonna find out later on that that quest is glitched. But another thing that I know that might be glitched is that Skippy quest, because I have the gun and so far she has not asked for it at all, and I have no idea how to give it back to her. Maybe I haven't killed enough people with it? Ah, well. Alright, so that's 400 meters away, so I know I'm going to be making a quick right turn. That's the other thing, since the GPS map is not that great and the turns come on you real quick, sometimes the best thing to do is to, like, kind of guess when the turn is coming up by looking at where your marker is on your screen rather than on the map, and then that sometimes gives you a good idea of when the turn's coming up so that you'll be ready for it. Because if you just depend primarily on the GPS map, you're going to miss turns left and right. Heh, I made it funny. Miss turns left and right. Yeah. Why the hell did they want me to make that weird? That gunfight you guys are having, that's your own problem. I don't feel like mixing it up. If you don't solve your own problems, how are you going to get anywhere in life? Oh, you need Skippy equipped when talking to her. Okay. Next time I will do that. In fact, maybe we should go do that. I mean, I know Skippy's an awesome gun, but I don't really need it. Wait, what the fuck? Are you serious? Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh my god.
You saw this.
Oh.
How could I? They sprayed this black mist, couldn't see nothing. Poor Gary, he sacrificed himself for us.
Oh my
Now
god.
we're collecting donations for a monument in his honor.
Oh my
Remember
god.
his courage and the crimes of Atlas Ventura. Care to spare a few eddies?
You know what? Fuck it.
Why not? Excuse me, I'm here to make a business deal. Fucking on. Take this. Boy,
Change my mind.
I don't know what to say. Gary'd be so touched.
got this chip here. Mind taking a look?
I wonder if I should have looked at the chip first.
Show me. I'll tell you what I know.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, hide that quick! Nobody can know, got it?
Why? What is it? What's this all about?
She looks freaked out.
They here to bend us to their will, to make us their puppets.
Whoa, calm down. Who is? Necromancy?
And lo, they shall
Send
descend
a Pondy.
unseen,
Personal space.
shrouded in darkness. That's what he said. Night cometh, the eternal night.
I said personal space.
Discovering secrets of paranormal beings. What's this story?
Give us our Gary
Open ending saga. Which sucks.
I don't disagree, but I had something else in mind. Some people know more than others. They hear the proper
Conversation.
and what do?
Do with that knowledge.
They invest all their time reinventing these old fairies.
This is a good point.
Give us our Gary
They invest all their time reinventing old age fairy tale.
I'll use your sense of imagination. I choose to believe we narrowly avoided war with vampires.
Ah, that was stupid. I should have went with the other one.
Reptilians, all captivating, romantic. Truth, on the other hand, is brutally mundane.
Dang.
Its core
Just pulling this. See, this I actually agree with.
bastards stepped out on the power fence.
That's what you saw? Shady corporal beast?
No doubt about it. They're the world's real bloodsuckers. Them and all of those left.
I agree with that. Like, I didn't want to pick the other one. We wasted our time because I don't really feel like it is a waste of time because we got the chip and we got to see something. But I would like to see what's on the fucking chip. Maybe we can. Hold on. Notes.
Alcohol? Am I fucking...
Aha! Yes! Okay, so let me save first in case I screw up. And now let's crack this shard and see what's in it. And that. Really? Is that easy to crack? Here I am thinking this was going to be a big freaking deal. Okay, I cracked it, and now what? Hello? Did I miss something? Did I... Are you serious? Did I miss something here? Did I... It just... Seriously? Seriously. I forgot to change the modifications in the first... Is this it? I don't know if I clicked through it too quick. I just simply... Is it in messages? Like, what the fuck? I don't believe this. Okay, let's... Maybe I missed something. I don't know if I... It's titled Destroy After Reading. I remember that, but Destroy After Reading is... It was under... Is it under Other? No, that's... It wasn't an article. Oh, there it is. It's under Technology. So, phosphor radiates, occluding jaded eyes, come Titan, outward ring, avian choruses, looping eternity, cages of men melt as night descends, emerge, Zelua, erect... What? Okay, I have no freaking clue what this is. I mean, this looks like some kind of weird cult shit, but your guess is as good as mine what this means. I'm really hoping that there's going to be some kind of closure, or maybe DLC will get onto it. I have no idea what this is about. What do you guys think? Seriously, what do you guys think? Because I got no freaking clue. It does, doesn't it? So, though it also could be like their own way of trying to come up with Lovecraftian sounding names. I really don't know. I really don't freaking know. Okay. Okay, it is almost 12 over here. Looks like I'm not going to be doing that side thing after all, because I need to be done by around 12 if I'm going to be up early tomorrow. Because tomorrow I got sword training to do, plus I got work tomorrow. So I can do one more quick thing before I'm done. I already see people leaving, but I understand. They probably weren't here to see me just bumble my way through a freaking buggy video game. But let's just do one more quick I'm gonna blast you in the head type thing, and then I think we'll end it off there. I will say, however, that I like doing the live streams when I have time. I would like to make these happen more often. Us just goofing around and maybe getting more of us to play co-op games or whatever. I really would like to do that with you guys. That would be really freaking cool. Even if it's not a fighting game, like Killing Floor or something. Especially Killing Floor. I have yet to play with a full squad in Killing Floor. The most I've played with was like 3 other people. And that was only once. See, now there it made sense that the dude just stopped there, because I think he was against the light. Robo Bronco, huh? Alright, turn coming up real soon. Stop! Stop! Yeah, Payday would be awesome. You've never tried it before? Oh, we got someone who hasn't tried Payday 2 before. Holy shite. Oh, we'd have fun indoctrinating you into the gang. I've put over, like, I think 1,400 hours into that game. And I still play it every now and then. I still just dive back in, because despite the fact that the engine's not all that great, and yeah, I had a feeling the cop was going to get offended. Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, I'll make it up to you by fighting this crime here. Yeah, Payday, like, seriously, it's super cheap these days. Anybody who's thinking of playing a decent co-op where you run around robbing banks and doing all sorts of nefarious activities and actually having goals, like, I think one of the coolest things about Payday 2 is it's not just simply, okay, team deathmatch. No, you have goals. You have things you need to do. Like, you know, when you're robbing a bank, you got to do stuff like, you know, you got to move the money bags. You got to crack the safe. You got to, all this type of stuff. It's really, really freaking cool. Yeah, and I agree with you, McGregor. You should just be able to bribe the cop and that's it. But the game's broken. It's not fully fixed. And I done fucked up because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Holy fucking shit. Okay. 55, 1C, BD, 55. Okay. There we go. I wasn't paying attention before. I almost screwed that up. That would not have made me happy. Okay, ping, just so I could see everybody. I really could just run in there and just blast them. Like, it's not... There's only a few guys there. I could play games with them. Like, let's just give this guy a seizure. Hey, he'll get to live. This is a non-lethal move. And nobody noticed. Gotta love that. Alright, I just play with his optics, just for shits and giggles. Blind them, then kill them. Hey, the headshot didn't work, so I was trying to go for his spine. Are you serious? Okay, you saw that, right? You saw how it didn't hit him whatsoever, even though it was aimed right at him? That one I know I missed. I don't care how good your fists are. I'm using live steel. You should have just said, you know what? I'm sorry for bothering you. Let me leave, please. But no, you thought you were big and bad. Now you're just big and dead. Alright, let's see what crime I stopped here. She obviously got manhandled. Though it might have been by me. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Don't need a latte. Ooh, rare components. Awesome. Archive conversations. You know, the guys know I love reading these, so let's see what it says. I'm in fucking military. Some of these are hilarious. Get yourself a nice big boy suit first. What the hell? Hopefully all I have to do is block your number. So obviously it's some type of lover's quarrel. That did not turn out very well. Seriously, the things you run across in this game are something else. What? A runner's checking them fucking corporates. Chill, alright. Deck, check them out. Go to town. I think they'll get up. Okay, I see what happened. So the guy got into Militech, went nuts, and ended up pissing off the wrong people, and yeah. Then I show up, and well, he's the only one who's going to live through this. Okay, I don't see a reward. He's the only one who's going to live through this. So, yeah, it's almost 12. I think this is as good a place as any to kind of end it off. I feel a little bit better about this live stream simply because I actually was able to go into some martial arts stuff, and I know you guys really are into that. But I still got to have a little bit of fun, and you guys got a good laugh out of some of this stuff. So, really, the main reason why I have the channel is it's a hobby channel for me, but it's just a way for me to, like, just enjoy myself and have some fun and talk with people who share similar interests, whether it's martial arts or games or nerdy stuff or, you know, RPGs, Magic the Gathering, whatever. Just, you know, so... yeah, single player streams. I could do some more of that. If you guys like seeing me do this stuff, fine. I mean, sometimes I think that when I do this, it bores you guys, but you know, some of you guys seem to like it. So as long as you guys like it, I could try to schedule time to keep doing it. Though I really would like to get some more people in here. Like one of my favorite live streams I've ever done was years ago when I was playing with Demo Man Chaos, and we were playing Dark Souls 2. And we were doing the last bit of the last DLC, which was, I forgot the name of it, but it was in this frozen place. And we were trying to get to the extra boss. And we spent, I think, about 4 or 5 hours trying to beat that section. And it was freaking hilarious. Like, we constantly kept getting run over and killed and, you know, yelling and getting lost. And everyone else was just, like, laughing along with us and having fun. Like, that was probably one of the best live streams that I had done in terms of just goofing off, and I would love to be able to get that going again. I do still have like the highlights of it on my channel, so if you want to look it up. But it's, yeah, it was, that's the sort of thing that I would like to do, and I would just like to, you know, add more people, you know, get more people in on that, where we can just, you know, people playing with us, you know, co-op, like I said, Killing Floor or Payday or Tekken, and I keep talking about Tekken because I love fighting games, but the thing about it is you can set up a lobby where you can get like around 6 to 8 people. Yeah, Payday 2 is really cheap right now. It's very freaking cheap, and it's got tons of really great mods for it as well to make it a little bit more stable, add more functionality, all that sort of stuff. It's really good. So, yeah, we could try to set up something. I really think we could set up something where we all just play, have a good time. I wanted to do kind of like a once a month live stream thing anyway. I just never got around to really making that stick. But I need to do that more often, I think. Just having fun with it. So, yeah, I really should do the vote in the channel. And just kind of set it up that way. But anyway, I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys, you know, found stuff interesting. And we'll see what happens, you know, down the line, whether I can keep this stuff going. So, Anyway, take care. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you guys were able to spend this a little bit of time with me. I always appreciate it. For those of you guys who are also on Patreon, again, thank you very much for that. That's definitely appreciated. And even if you're not, if you just simply like what's on the channel, where all I'm doing is just talking about what I like in a very unprofessional manner, it's I'm just glad that you guys are willing to look at my tiny little corner of YouTube and get something out of it. So anyway, you guys have a good night. Take care. Kingdom Death? No, I've not heard of it, but I'll take a look at it at some point. But anyway, hope you guys take care. Have a good evening, good rest of your day. And definitely, this is a new year. Let's hope that this year ends up being better than last year. Though I will add that let's make this year a better year than last year, because that's on us. So take care, guys, and I'll catch you later. So I'm going to save, because I know once I tab out, it's going to crash. And it crashed. See? Good thing I saved. I'll take care, guys. You have a good one.